Hi, my name's Mark and this is video 5 on how to dress a house for retail sale. So let's imagine you've done some work on the house, you've got a glorious looking house now, you've done the refurb, you've done the kitchen, the bathroom, and now you want to sell the property on the retail market. Now you'd imagine in your mind that vendors know how to sell houses, right? They give it to an agent and the agent sells it for them and they present it to the agent in the way that they think is how to sell a house, but they don't know how to sell. Vendors don't know how to sell houses. It's the weirdest thing, and don't take my word for this. Go onto Rightmove, go onto Zoopla, have a look yourself and look how houses are presented or flats are presented for retail sale. They're not very good, and the reason is because the soul has left the building when someone decides to move on, and it's the weirdest thing. An agent is a retailer, so an agent will display what they've been given. So if there's laundry all over the bed, they'll take a photograph of the laundry. If there's a mess in the bathroom, they'll take a photograph of the mess. If there's a mess in the kitchen or it's overcrowded or it's a hoarder's house, they'll take a picture of the hoarded house because they've been instructed to take photos of what's for sale, and so that's what they'll do. Now, this is not all estate agents. Some estate agents are really good, but it's not their job to advise on how to dress your house for a sale. So here's a few tips for getting the price, getting the sale. And it's not the difference between a higher and a lower price all the time. It's the difference between a sale and not a sale. How to dress your house for a retail sale. First of all, it's the listing. The listing's got to be right. And the listing's so important. And that means the listing and the photographs, the whole impression of the building. And first of all, the first step is the actual write-up. The write-up's written by the agent, and they're very good at doing write-ups. They've got to stick by certain laws and rules and stuff, so they're very good at doing write-ups. So let them do the write-up, and then by all means let them do the photographs. So if you get a professional photographer, a room photographer in, then they are fantastic, but you don't always get that. So consider taking the photographs yourself first. Now, if you're taking the photographs yourself, you'll likely have a phone camera. There's nothing wrong with a phone camera at this point, but there is a few faults that you've got to be aware of when you're doing your photographs, which I'll go into in a second. Just consider the order of the photographs. What we're trying to create is a flow through the property. The reason is because retail buyers quite often view 5, second view 3, and then buy 1. And you want to be one of those 5 from your listing, because a listing sells the viewing sells the house. So you're not trying to sell the house from the listing, you're trying to sell the viewing from the listing to get them in the house in the first place, and that's where the heart takes over and they fall in love with your property that you've got for sale. So what do we do for dressing? Okay, well, if you don't know how to dress a bedroom, then I'd Google it and look at how beds are dressed in the designer world. So we'll put the right amount of pillows on, the right amount of cushions, the right amount of throws. We have bedsides on double beds and lamps on either side and artwork above the headboard. We don't use wardrobes in dressed houses because they're just big boxes and they take up space, and it's up to the new owners to put their wardrobes in. So if you've got wardrobes in there, take them out, they're not needed. And we take a nice diagonal shot with the opposite corner of the room in the center of the shot to start with. Now we try and get 3 walls in a shot. The 2 walls are displayed because the corner's in the middle, that's the opposite corner. So you take the photo from the door, opposite corner, headboard in the shot. We want to see the bed where we're resting and sleeping and spend our time. And the 3rd wall is just a frame on one side of the picture, just to frame the room, to give it that impression it's framed properly. Now we need curtains, and it might seem old-fashioned, but we use tie-backs on curtains because it frames a window incredibly well. In the old days we used to use pelmets as well, but we don't use pelmets anymore. They're a little bit old and they're expensive if you're dressed in a house just for retail sale. So frame the window properly. You can use blinds in bathrooms and kitchens, that's perfectly acceptable, but in bedrooms and living rooms and dining rooms we use a tie-back curtain to frame the window well. Now we've got the shot right, and we've got the pieces in the room. So if it's a double room, put a double bed in, just a 4'6", not a big one. Just put a normal bed in there and frame your shot properly. Now the height for framing shots in bedrooms is generally about belly button height. So you take your camera, just about here, and take your shot from that type of height. That gives a good, impressive shot of a room and a bed and bedsides and lamps, and it gives the impression of how the space can be used. So that's the bedroom shot. The difference in the kitchen and bathroom shot is normally it's a little bit higher, so it's more chest height, a little bit higher, so it's above the countertop, just above the countertops, and that creates a good shot in a house. Again, opposite corner of the room in the centre of the shot, and whichever part, and you move that opposite corner left or right, deciding where the interest is in the room. So the kitchen cabinets might be on one side, so you'd move the corner of the room slightly left or slightly right to grab the interest in the room. Again, we'll try and take 3 walls. So centre is 2 walls, and then a frame or a slither of the 3rd wall to make the shot interesting. And as I say, about sort of chest height for a kitchen shot or a bathroom shot. That is to do the best. And I know I've seen tons where they're up here, you know, the really high shots, and they don't really work. They look a little bit odd, a little bit bulbous, because you know, a camera lens is convex and concave, you know, curved, so it makes them look a little bit odd. Now, on your photographs, we did speak about the order. The order of the shots has to show a flow through the house. So we start with the front of house shot, and then we go to the first hallway or the stairway in the house. Then we go into the living room, then we go into the dining room, then we go into the kitchen, then we go out to the back garden, and then we take the viewer on you know, a journey upstairs. So we'd take the box room first, then we'd take the second room, then the bathroom, and then the main bedroom. The reason for that order is because the lasting impression of the listing should be the main bedroom, which should be the grandest shot. It should be the most, you know, the nicest shot. A lot of people do it in the wrong order. They do bedroom 1 and 2 and then 3, and then the lasting impression of the shot or the listing is the box room, and that's not what we want. So the order is important. So create the flow through the house to tell a story of the lifestyle. So let's go back to the first room, which is the first shot, which is the front of house. So on a front of house shot, you'll have seen loads of these. Sometimes when you take and try this for yourself, you can take a shot of a building or an image of a building, and it looks like it's falling over backwards. Now, to rectify that shot, you can actually do it on an iPhone. It's called Keystone. Is we want to straighten the walls of the house up to make the building stand up straight. If you've got editing software like Lightroom or Photoshop, you can do it in both of those programs, but you can also do it on an iPhone called Keystone. Remember the old days when we had projectors and stuff, and you'd kind of make the image go like this from the Keystone? Well, you can do that on a property shot as well, to make the sides of the building stand up straight. So your horizontals are horizontal and your verticals are vertical in the image. So that's the first tip. The second tip is, you know, on the flow, we take them around the flow, make sure your verticals and your horizontals are straight in the images in the house as well. There's nothing worse than a kind of bulging out image of a bathroom because you've taken it using a wide angle shot. Now you might need a wide angle lens to use the bathroom shot because it's a small room. Go no lower than 10 mil on a regular camera, no lower than 10 mil, because if you don't, then you'll get bulgy walls that look a bit weird on your shot. So when we're dressing, we need pieces in the rooms to indicate how the space is used, and the pieces mean things like, oh, we need toilet roll in the bathroom, we need shampoo and, you know, shower gel in the bathroom, and a toothbrush. We don't need it overcluttered, we don't need loads of the stuff in, just need pieces put in there. We need flowers are good to put in on dining tables and on sides to indicate colour. Especially if you've done the house in all white and grey carpets or something like that, then we indicate colour with flowers. That's a really good way. In kitchens, we have a toaster, we have tea, coffee, sugar cans, we have a kettle. We don't have anything. We don't need anything else particularly. Just pieces in to indicate, because let's face it, you're selling the next person's dream. So you need to make it look like they can live in the space and they fall in love with the space in the listing to get them in the house, you know, to do the viewing and then hopefully to make an offer. So I hope that helps. It's a quick 10-minute video on dressing houses for retail sale. Please get rid of laundry, get rid of cars, get rid of aerials and stuff in your listings, and make your shots clean. And that will help you sell a house and get what you want for it. My name's Mark. I'll see you on video 6, which is how to do expert level due diligence.